So last month we made cash collected, we made 27. And then, so contracts are around over 40. Cash collected, yeah. Yeah, it's solo. Solo. Yeah, 27K. We're going to have some cash coming in. And then, we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, I actually scaled very, very fast. You probably can see this in the actual community if you go in there. I went from 0 to 20, 30. I mean, contract wise, we have probably closer to 50K cash that's coming in. We went from that to that in about 3 months. So we scaled really quick. What I am really shocked by is we're talking about making 40, 50,000 a month, and people don't want to give 6 months. And what are you talking about? 6 months is all I ask you. You're making 40, 30, 40, 50,000 a month.
Hello, John. How you doing, man?
Good, my friend. I'm just trying to stay out of trouble.
Finally, man. I've been wanting to record this fucking video for a long time. I always talk about it in the channel, by the way. Everybody in SSM calls me that man, but you're like the guy that everyone wonders, who is John? Who is this guy, right? And funny enough, it looks like Clark Kent. So you might be Superman, right?
Mate, but what's this? What's this? Clark Kent? I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. That's not so bad. I've heard much worse. So we'll take Clark Kent.
My first question to you, right? Because obviously this is how people would be interested. How much are you currently making right now?
So last month we made cash collected, we made 27. And then, so contracts are around over 40. Cash collected, yeah. So yeah, 27K. We're going to have some cash coming in. And then, we'll see how it goes from there.
All right. And are you doing this solo or what?
Yeah, it's solo. I actually scaled very, very fast. You probably can see this in the actual community if you go in there. I went from 0 to 20, 30. I mean, contract wise, we have probably closer to 50K cash that's coming in. We went from that to that in about 3 months. So we scaled really quick. But to be fair, I didn't start from zero. So, I ran a marketing agency before this. I was working with construction companies, and we did that. We did pretty well with that. We're making around 8K per month with that. I was using the cold email system internally for my own client acquisition. And then we made the pivot last November. So, hey, let's go to the B2B. So we started to build a lot of the backends for the company. We launched an offer in August. That's when I closed my first client for the new offer. That was for $400. 400. Not a month, not per month, 400. I just wanted them to pay me some kind of money. Yeah, I didn't care too much about it because I wasn't needing the money, but it was $400. So that was in August. And they churned because we weren't the best. We delivered meetings, but they couldn't close. To be fair, we were having a lot of deliverability issues. I wasn't also learning the product. But so that was in August. And in October, we were like, okay, we've got the product nailed down. Like we can get meetings for anybody. Like we've really got it nailed down in October. So we started to scale in October. From October to now, it's just been, we're up, 50, 60, 70K over the course of those months.
I wanted to ask you something, man. This is this is going to be my first question, which is, how are you able to not flinch when it comes to pricing? Because you've been making a lot of a lot of people are wondering, how the hell does the man himself, John, not flinch when it comes to pricing? And you're able to communicate it in such perspicacious way without worried about the prospect saying no or any of that. How are you able to do it? How are you able to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no intrinsic secret, but it's going to sound quite obvious, but I don't need the money. And this is one thing, I feel like most people aren't going to be able to relate to this, but, since I ran a marketing agency before, so I don't need the money. So for me, it doesn't matter the deal closed or not closed. I'm not too bothered. I really do value working with the client. I have to enjoy working with you. That's very important. Yesterday, we are closing someone for 8.6. So that's going to be 8.6 per month. So we've continually raised the bar. So we're going from 400 to we went to, around 4,000 with split payments. And then we went to 4,600 with full pay in fulls. 6,000. Now we're at 8.6. And then we're going to slowly integrate into 6-month contracts, 1-year contracts, things like that. And it's really important that you just don't need the money. I know it sounds easier said than done. That's why I really do like the idea of people having a job and then start working on a business, because that means then you're not relying your living on the actual income of the business. And that just gives you so much more breathing room. You just need some kind of breathing room. If you're able to give yourself 6 months of runway, you can really go far. But if you're like, hey, I need the cash within, 30 days, come on, man. If you just give yourself 6 months, it's all I'm asking, 6 months. And, wherever you're living, cost of living 6 months, that's not much. You can get job in McDonald's and you can get away with it. Like, are you serious? Like, just get a job, man. It's just going to get you so much leeway, and you'll be surprised if you give yourself 6 months, 3 to 6 months, saying like, hey, the strategies you put in place for 6 months is completely different to the strategies you put in yourself for 30 days, right? And the strategy you put in yourself, if you want to get cash collective on 30 days, is going to be a detriment to the 6-month plan. So it's kind of that weird kind of, it's this weird paradigm that you're in. So it's really a good idea for you to get a job, to have some kind of cash flow, or just have a savings, and then give yourself, 6 months.
So you went from August from like trying to $400 right now, 27K. What would you say the 2 to 3 things that actually move the needle for you to actually get there?
Yeah, you got to have your product nailed down. That's pretty important, obviously. That's going to give you a lot of conviction. So, and then you're going to need a lot of trial and tribulation. So that's where you're going to need to put in the reps. And also the fact that if you're not desperate, that's a big indicator. People really like people who are not desperate. So you should be not desperate. People like a winner. I always say this, people like a winner. So I really don't like when people share their losses on, social. Like, do not keep it internal, keep it private, share to your friends, but do not go around sharing your losses.
Yeah. That's so true, man. Yeah, that's so true. I always think, like, I recorded like a video about it. I said, I don't know why, but it seems like all the winners that I talk to, including you, like Aaron, a bunch of people that are making a ton of money, they don't romanticize the failures. There's no failure is part of the journey, bro. It's just this works or it doesn't next. That's it.
And some people get very sentimental. Yeah, I see a lot of people get sentimental over this. We're gonna get political here. Just kidding. But yeah. I'm trying to be a little more helpful, because what I've realized is the more money I've made, the less sympathy I have for people. I know it's supposed to be the opposite, but it's like the more money I've made, it's like I'm almost angry at myself. Like, it's been that easy the whole time. It's been that easy. Like, I'm so pissed off. And when someone asks me a simple question, I get more pissed off. It's like being pissed off at my former self. So I'm trying to be a little more helpful to you guys, trying to calm myself down, because I really am getting less sympathetic as I make more money, because it was so easy. It was so easy, dude. It was really, really easy. And I'm sure you know this. You're probably pissed off at some of the questions I asked. You're like, come on, Joe. There's different levels, right? Same thing. If someone just started asking me, like, what niche should I start? I'm like, come on, man. Are we really asking what niche to start in again? Like, are we really doing this for 6 months? Just pick one and start fulfilling. Like, come on.
What's your experience with an SSM? I believe you're like here, like, how long have you been here?
I've been here for a while. So I initially joined because I wanted to get the client acquisition better for the marketing agency. And then we made the pivot. So I've been here for a while. Honest, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't want to tell people about SSM. I don't want more people to know. It's like this little diamond mine that I found in the dark corner of the internet. And I don't really want to share it. I just want to keep drilling it myself. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't want to share it. SSM is like so cheap, dude. I'm actually scared that it's underpriced. I don't want so many people inflating in. I really don't. I really want you to triple, four times the price. If you're not willing to invest, SSM, I've spent thousands of dollars. I'm telling you, I've probably spent, with this venture, I've probably spent 20, 30,000 on software over the course of like the year. Like, I'll just spend it on software. I'll spend it on, network. Anything I see that it can help, I'll just buy it. Even like bad courses. Because, there's only so many AI courses out there in AI education. This is such a new industry. I'll just buy it. Even if it's horrible, I'll still make money out of it, right? And I've paid thousands. SSM has been like the cheapest thing that has been the most valuable. It's so cheap. It's kind of, it's bad. Like, people like us, we want it to be more expensive. So if you're not willing to invest like 100, it's like so ridiculously cheap that if you're not willing to put that in, just give up. If I'm being honest, just give up. Don't even try. It's not worth it. Like, we're talking about making 5, 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100. Some people are making, I know, 250 to 300K a month. And you don't want to invest a little bit of money, like a little, it's literally nothing. It's peanuts. I'm telling you, it's peanuts. Especially with the schools you pay for, with the garbage food you pay, you probably buy, outside foods, all the things you pay for. I'm telling you, it's so ridiculously cheap. And I'm saying this, I don't want you to do it, to be honest, because I don't want SSM to get overpopulated. There's nothing else to say. Some people, you just can't help everybody. But the people who take action, like the people who are like, you know what, it's so cheap, let's just do it. Like, I'll still make the most out of it. Like, what is there to lose? Like, what's there to lose? Nothing. So it's super tactical. It's super nuanced. It's very specific. That's one thing I really, really like about what you do with your community. You can probably charge, I'll easily pay 3-4 times more. Like, no problem whatsoever, because it's so specific. You don't get distracted. You don't go for other AI systems. You just stay on this sales system. You just stick to that. Every post is about that. every little nuances, because what people fail to realize is you need to understand these small little nuances, because you're going to have very specific problems come up. You're going to have to, it's very like in the trenches, right? You're in the trenches. You can't really have these broad questionnaires, and your community is super specific. You just talk about this one thing. Just that's it. You don't ever branch out. And that's what I love the most. Yeah, it feels like a mastermind. It feels like a mastermind more than a community. And I like the fact that there's not a lot of people. I kind of want it to stay that way. I know it's to your detriment, but I don't want to share the secret. If I'm being 100%, I'm only here because, I like what you're doing. I'll give you some flowers, but I don't want to share the secret. I'm being 100%. It's like something I want to just keep to myself. It's so good. I don't want to share it with other people. Yeah. I'd rather you raise the price than, let more people in, if I'm being honest.
What's interesting is like I go to the community and I see these posts and they're like super, super specific questions. Like, how do I fulfill for like a biotech series A, like recently hired in like some weird sub niche? And you can't really just know this, right? You have to be in the trenches to actually know about it. I have another question for you, which is for people that are watching this, a lot of people they have like a bunch of limiting beliefs about, getting started. What's the simple one advice you would give them? Maybe they're asking, well, this sounds cool. You guys are crushing it. John is crushing it. A lot of people are crushing it, but I think I can do it.
The first thought that comes to mind is don't, then good, then don't. I'll just take all the money here. Like, you don't. You stay over there. And that's the first thought that comes to my mind. But I'll be a little more generous. That is genuinely what I would say. That's the correct answer for me. But let me be a little more loose. Look, I think the thing that got me the results, the way we're able to scale so quick, is because we were super specific. You have to articulate an industry's pain point. Like, that is probably the most important thing you can do. So I see this all the time. You have to, it's not just speaking their industry lingo, but it's able to articulate in the industry jargons, in the industry mannerisms. You have to be able to pull that off, right? So even in the outreach, like, there's only so many angles you can come with. It's like, what, 50 words? How many angles? Everybody's tried every single angle. Like, there's only so many angles you can come up with. There's only so many ways you can phrase it. There's only so good you can make your offer, right? So you have to be able to articulate their pain very well. So instead of saying leads, be more specific, right? In your outreach, say, R&D directors, and even if you get even more specific. So be able to articulate people's pain, people's industries well. If you're able to do that, you're going to get a lot of attention, and then that's going to get you meetings. And once you get the meetings, you can put the reps in to build that confidence. And you can just use AI. That's the thing, right? Because I don't really know the industry lingo for wealth management, biotech, commercial real estate, enterprise software. I don't really know this, but we're able to use AI to be able to speak the industry lingo. So that's one thing you definitely want to do. Just use AI. It's easy. Like, stop saying leads, stop saying I can get you appointments. You have to speak specific to the industry. And if you're able to give yourself 3 to 6 months. Like, you can, but stop rushing so much. That's one thing I really feel like, I need to make money next week or, 30 days. You're just not at that skill level yet. You can't pull it off. Just take the hint, and then give yourself 90 to, 180 days. Then you can really start to make money. We're talking about what I am really shocked by, we're talking about making 40, 50,000 a month, and people don't want to give 6 months. Like, what are you talking about? 6 months is all I ask you. You're making 40, 30, 40, 50,000 a month. And same thing with money. People don't want to spend money. They want to cheap out on everything. No, we're talking about making 40, 50,000 a month. What are you talking about? So who gives a crap if you spend 5,000, 10,000 on, I don't care. I spend so much money on courses, internships. I just spend on software. I do not cheap out. Because we're trying to make 40, 50,000 a month. Like, what are we talking about? You want to spend $100 and you want to squeeze every, dime, and you want to give yourself 2 weeks to make 20,000 a month? Get out of here. What are you talking about? I have to stop myself there. It just pisses me off.
Yeah. But zooming out, I wanted to ask you, what were like the first steps before you done all this? Like, what did you do? Like, and then let's start from the beginning. What were you doing before, and then how'd you get started?
Again, I was running the marketing agency before this. I had experience with fulfilling clients and all that. But in terms of the actual, the sales system, we launched the offer in August, and we wanted to just test with a bunch of people. Like, we did not care about the money. We just wanted to just test and start fulfilling. So that's why we had, we believe 4 or 5 clients on $400, and then plus performance. And then we started fulfilling. A lot of those clients churned. Some of them sticked around. The ones that did churn, we left in good terms. And then now I've actually gone back and then sent them a couple appointments now, just as like a sorry. Even though they only lost like $300 or $400, I'm like, hey man, I've just sent you like here 8, 9 appointments. So sorry. And then a lot of them actually already onboarded. which is really cool. But yeah, so we started that, and then we were spending a lot of money just fulfilling because we just wanted to see some successful fulfillment, and things were going well. And then in October we started to scale, and it's really cool. It's like a tap you can just turn on when you're scaling. Once you get this skill unlocked, I can just turn on the tap and leads just flow like magic. Like yesterday, we started launch for a Q1, and we went for the Singapore market, and we had like 40 interested people last night. So, no, excuse me, but you can cut this out. Clark can't be fumbling the bag here. But yeah, so last night we launched the Singapore market for Q1, and then we had like 40 inquiries. I booked 15 meetings last night in 6 hours. The goal KPI was to book 20 for January. We're already at 15. It's only been 4 days. It's like the skill that you can just, if once you get it, you can just turn it on and off. And it's really cool to see once you just turn it on, especially when you have the autoresponders, things like that, but you can just have meetings flow into your calendar. So it's really, truly like super freeing to know, hey, I can just turn on this tab and then I'll have, conversations going like this.
Yeah, that's true, man. What do you think about people who said, well, January, like December, we can't really do anything. We can't really get clients, all this stuff. I get a lot of people who say this, right?
But there's some truth to it. I'm not going to completely negate their point. There's definitely some truth, especially around Thanksgiving or, Christmas is going to be harder. I definitely agree with it. But I did close the most deals we ever closed in December. And so the one thing to keep in mind, we closed around 40, 50K in contracts in December last month. This month we've already closed. We had 5, 8.6. We've closed probably 15 in 4 days in the summer month. Some of them were renewals from last month, to be fair. But yeah, so it's really not as bad as you think. The holiday season, that period of like 4 to 5 days can be slow, but it doesn't hurt. Right? It doesn't hurt to keep sending it. That doesn't mean you have to not send the whole December. That's crazy. And especially if you want to go more upmarket, you have to be in people's, I say this all the time with clients even, because a lot of clients tell me, I want to start in Q1. I say, no, you have to be in these enterprises, ecosystem before Q1. So that once you actually decide to deploy the budget, you're at top of mind. You can't just, because when you actually start contacting Q1, then they're going to be talking about Q3, right? Because they've already deployed the budget. So you have to be in people's mind before Q1. So if you're in December, start in December so that you can actually talk to the person. And then they have you in the back of your mind. Grab their WhatsApp. That's something I really like to do. Grab their personal phone number or something. Keep a personal touch with them. Send voice notes. And then once you're top of mind, then they'll close you in Q1. That happens a lot. Like I'll grab someone's WhatsApp, we'll have a sales call, and then they'll close like 1 month down the line.
When it comes to scaling, what are the things that you want to be doing the next few months?
Yeah, I want to start hiring. That's one thing I definitely want to do. Hiring is SOPs is a big one. I need to start writing a lot of SOPs. Hiring, I'm pretty confident I can get a really good VA and things like that. Just because, never say VA, by the way. Always say employee. You don't want to seem like...
I know a guy. I can hook you up. Connector?
I actually know a guy too. I can hook you up. My friend runs a VA staffing agency. And then he staffs really, really good operation VAs, like really high-level executive VAs. So I could probably hook you up, and you could probably hook me up. So I'm going to probably work with him. It's really affordable, too. It's really nothing, 2-3K a month, including everything. And then they also train the employee, everything. It's really, really good. So I'm probably going to get them onboarded, and then we'll see. So that's going to be hiring. And then it's going to be, I want to get more content out, hiring, and SOPs.
I would also increase my price in there. What is the highest thing you've charged so far?
The highest thing I've charged, on a monthly basis is 8.6. Yeah, a retainer. But they were an investor outreach.
Retainer, okay, I see. So yeah, you're doing the same thing that I've been doing, like last few months, like 8K a month minimum for like 6 months. It will definitely reduce your churn because it takes a little bit of time to crack the outbound formula for each client,
100%. I see that people do monthly contracts. Give yourself, again, same principle, give yourself 90 days because you do need some time to acclimate to their industry. Again, give yourself, like even if you can give it 180 days, perfect, right? Because I can crack any industry in 180 days, guaranteed. I can crack. Like I will buy it myself. If I have to, I'll buy a product myself so that you can get an ROI. Like I'll go in the negative just so that my ego doesn't get hit. But if you give yourself 30 days, like it's really tight and it's really hard. And you can get really discouraged. You can think like, oh, it's impossible. But no, if you just actually give yourself 90 days, you'll start to see things pick up.
So one more thing. This is like a good piece of advice for people that are watching. Don't overpromise so much. Don't have 10 intros. Don't say none of that. Like 3 to 4 max, right? Because you're grabbing deals. Like it's not like booking appointments, right? It's actually deals. So obviously you have to do like a little bit of pre-filtering beforehand, and also like I mean, like when it comes to my business net, I never go for like 6 or 8, like 3, 4 intros per month. That's all I get, but it's super high quality, right? I make sure it's super high quality because in the back end, I'm generating like more. I'm generating like 10, but I only grab like 3, 4. All of these like people that I generate are just tire kickers, right? So it's not like I'm thinking about making money now and also making money in the long term, because if they close, I get a stupid like commission, right? Especially in like wealth management, all this stuff. Like, I had this line that paid me like a commission. It was like $40,000 commission, just last month from like one single freaking deal. And I've been working with them. It's just like a boomer.
I love working with boomers. You know this, right? We love working with boomers. They are the best people to work with.
They pay me like 8K every single month for now. Like it's been 4 months now. And, just like a few days ago, like I paid like 40K and I'm like, holy shit, that's like leverage, right?
I get a lot of people ask me like, how do you get all these big retainers? I get that asked a lot, and I'm sure you get it all the time too. And it's all about going up market, right? So we do go back to niches, but don't get distracted. So this is more like going up market. You have to go more up market. And I think a really good, with these sales systems, like this is going to be really helpful for people. You have to find some kind of arbitrage, right? Because again, when you're doing outreach emails for yourself to get deals, there's only so many things you can say, right? Let's say you want to keep it to 50 words. Like how many different angles can you say? There's only so many ways. So you have to find some kind of arbitrage. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either write really good copy. That is the hardest arbitrage to find. I don't find that that is a little more overrated than it's overrated in my opinion. Like it's not the best arbitrage because you have to be really good because you only have 50 words to play with. Or you can find arbitrage in markets. That's a really good one. So why are you targeting the US? Target the Middle East, target Singapore, target Switzerland, target Australia, target Japan, Hong Kong. These people are not as hit up on as often as the US. So you can find some kind of arbitrage in the market. That's something you can capitalize on. That's the easiest one you can capitalize on. Or you can, like the lead sourcing, you can find some kind of arbitrage on when you source the leads. Instead of going Sales Navigator, can you go for government filings? Can you go for town directories? Can you go for even Yellow Pages? Or can you go for Google Maps? These people are going to be hit up less often than the traditional lead database. So that is one arbitrage you can find. Or you can find arbitrage through like a personal brand, right? So if you have like a strong name, you can say, hey, please, this is the line I really like to use with clients who have strong brands. I'll just say, if you're skeptical, please Google us. That does really well. I have so many prospects just Google my clients, and then they see the clients and pop up, and that's just a trust that they form, right? So that's one kind of arbitrage you can do. So for example, if I was famous, I'll just say, please just Google my name, if you're skeptical. That's a big arbitrage you can win. Or you can find arbitrage in generations.
That's what I do.
Exactly. We love working with boomers, right? Where there's a lot of old money or like old industries, but they're doing large transaction volumes. So we're talking about logistics, manufacturing, biotech, wealth management. Fintech is large transactions, but they're not really boomers. But what I'm saying is large transaction values, look for that and look for boomers. People who are like 60, 65. Because when you're the young guy, you're like the genius in their eyes. And then they're much more patient. Boomers are so much more patient. They're willing to wait it out. And if you bring them like 2-3 intros, like you said, people are not going to believe. When you say you bring 3 intros a month, 10K, people are going to be like, yeah, this guy's talking crap. It's hard to believe. I get it. I completely understand where you're coming from. I get it. It's hard to believe. You're like, there's no way this is possible. But since he's working with boomers, they're much more patient. And once they actually get it, they're much more appreciative. It's almost like shocking. Like, whoa, what's this? Because how they get business, you won't believe, is they literally send like 5 to 10 emails a day. They have like some VA or like a staff, like not even a VA, like a staff that they pay $4,000 or $5,000 a month that sends like SDR emails, 5 to 10 emails a day, and that's how they get business. And once you come in, you are like, whoa, this guy's like, you're like a genius in their eyes. And for them, they will pay a lot of money, and they have a lot of old money anyway, and they just need one deal, and that's going to cover like the whole 6-month contract, right? Because all my clients, the minimum package they sell is 20K. 3 or 4K a month. Even if they charge 3 or 4K a month, I don't work with them. You have to charge 20K. Most of my clients charge 150 to 200K. That's their average tickets or order value. Some of them, like, commercial real estate or biotech, we're talking 6 mil, 10 mil. We're talking in the millions now. And that one's even better. So try to look for large transaction volumes and then try to get one of that arbitrage. I mentioned 5. Try to get one of those arbitrage. I would ignore the copywriting, if I'm being honest, because the copy we write is good, but it's not like groundbreaking. It's not like you're not gonna look at like, whoa, I've never seen this before. This is simple stuff, right? We just use AI. So try to find an arbitrage in one of those 4. The market, the actual lead sourcing, or the industry, the upmarket, going upmarket, and then, or the personal brand. Personal brand is a little more difficult. Try to find one kind of arbitrage and you'll do really, really well. Yeah, with sales calls, I take a lot of sales calls. And obviously, for me, sales calls are like, I just consider a conversation. I'm genuinely curious in their business. I am genuinely curious. So I do think people can sense conviction. Like people sense genuine conviction. And people sense, if you're being genuine, they can sense that. You can't fake that, I think. Right. And I hate people who are like super sales and, you can tell they're following the script. You can just tell, like they ask, like somebody might say, my parents died. And they're like, so, what are you doing for client acquisition? Like, what are you talking about? Like, the guy just said his parents died. Like, you're just going to ask the next question? Like, you're so robotic. People sound robotic. Like, you can tell they're reading from a script. And then you can tell they don't care at all. They're thinking more about the money than the problem. I like solving big problems. Like, you have to think in that mentality of, I enjoy solving big problems because then it builds my character up, like I'm the guy. I love when clients call me, like I have clients call me all the time for small problems they have. Like they're hiring. They have nothing to do with what I'm doing, but they just want my opinion. And I like that I'm that guy that they call on the phone. Like if there's a problem, like call me first. Like, I'll tell you what to do. And if you work with boomers, you're going to get a lot of calls because, anything tech related, they're going to be like, I got to ask John. Like I only trust him. He's the guy. So you have to kind of shift your focus there and, stop thinking about the money. Think about more like, hey, I want to be like the guy. And then also, like, you have to care more about the prospect. Obviously, you have to care about the prospect. Yeah. I don't even care about the money too much. It's more about identity. Yeah. It's more about characters. I like that I'm the guy. Yeah. Be Superman, don't care about the money too much. Yeah. And the money will come in anyway. Like, of course, I want the money, right? The money will come in anyway. And trust me, like 30, 40K, you think it's a lot of money, but it's really not. Like, nothing's changed about my life at all. Like, what are you going to do with 30, 40K? Like, a month. It's nothing. It's really nothing. I know guys who are making, 5 million a month. Running some manufacturing firm, like manufacturing thing in Germany. 5 mil a month. So it's really not that much. I don't even mean just sales with anything. You can sell anything. And you can get to 10K. With any niche, I don't care what niche, you can sell the low packages, you can get to 10K pretty easily. Once you get that deal flow unlocked, you can get to 10K. Especially for what we do. Like if you're really close to marketing and sales like that close, like if you're very directly tied to revenue, you can say any number. You can pull anything out your mouth. They just say a number. Be confident. I've never undercharged, except for the $400, but that was intentional. But I've never actually had a issue with client or undercharging. I've never had that. I've only overcharged. I've only seen a precedent. I've only had prospects go, "Jeez, okay, here we go." Like so, you do want that like that wow from prospects. Like once you get that, and then they kind of settle back down, you've got it. And say it with a straight face. Do not flinch. Just say it. 8.6. Then don't say it. You get it. I promise you, it will work. Yeah, I want to tell everybody one thing, right? I want to be super specific with this. I want to give some broad business advice, like, try your best, work hard. It's so generic. I want to give you something tactical. Find some kind of arbitrage, right? So use every card you have in your wallet, everything, right? If you have a chamber of commerce in the local, go there and get the arbitrage. If your dad's rich, use his money. Like if you're young, use your youth to your advantage. Work with boomers, right? Use your youth, and then because the boomers believe, if you're a 14-year-old, if you work with a boomer, the boomer's going to give you a chance because they see a little bit for themselves in you. Like they'll give you that chance, right? More than, let's say, if it was a 35-year-old man, they're going to be like salesman. But if you're a 14-year-old, they're going to just see you different. That's just how the world works, right? So you have to find some kind of arbitrage. If you have a local advantage, if you have a geographical advantage, take advantage of that. If you have capital, deploy it. If you don't have capital, if you are in not a first world country, if you're younger, take advantage of your youth. Actually apply that. Maybe you're super good looking. Find some kind of arbitrage. You have to find some kind of arbitrage. Like maybe you're good on camera or you're good looking, you can make videos and it attracts people. And even if you have inflated views, people are going to think you're the deal, right? Because you have inflated views, because boomers can't quite correlate. Like views doesn't really mean anything because mostly it's like 13-year-olds watching. So try to find somebody. You have to find an arbitrage. You have to either do it through markets, go to the local, YMCA. I don't care what you have to do. Find some kind of arbitrage. If you just close 1 to 2 deals, you're going to get your 10K. So that's the one tactical thing I can tell you. I don't want to tell you some voodoo, cursive text that the girls write on the wall. Like, this is pretty tactical. Just focus on that. Just please find some kind of arbitrage and you'll get it. I promise you, you'll get it. That's all I can say, really. Thanks for having me. Hope it helps. I want to see more of those wins in the group. It always does my heart good. It's great market analysis. Like, seeing all those wins, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.